morning, everybody. We've got Babe here.
Howdy, howdy.
Babe is back with us once again because Adam informed me last night that today is his wife's birthday that I guess he forgot about. I don't know why, but so Adam had to ditch on us at the last minute, and Babe was more than willing to fill in, so we definitely appreciate you for that, Babe.
My pleasure.
So you and me haven't talked much lately. We've chatted back and forth on Facebook and stuff, but we haven't had a chance to really dig into anything. What's been going on?
I've just been studying. I got a big test coming up here at the end of the month. Yep.
Very cool. And I'm after heading down to Florida and then getting sick and recovering from all that, then I had the seasteading thing, which we'll talk about here shortly. But before we got into that, I was through questioning that Babe to see if there's anything he had heard recently, actually in the news or ocean-related stuff, since, we hadn't talked. And Babe is one of our contributors for social media stuff, which I know Adam definitely appreciates. I know I do. So what do you know, Babe? What have you heard that's cool going on out there?
What I heard was I actually just stumbled across it. It was an interview with Philippe Cousteau, and he was just on Instagram when the live videos just popped up. But happened to just catch it, And some of the things he was saying was really neat about the Bikini Atoll, where all the nuclear testing was done. And he was talking about how he got to visit it recently. And in the, what has it been, 60, 70 years, something like that, since all that testing was done, and ruined all that. He said it's come back beautifully. It's not even the same place. It just, which I know is protected now. You're not allowed to go there. Which I wish I could have recorded it or taken notes or thought of something, because he talked about the radioactivity and stuff there isn't nearly what they thought it was going to be now. But that's good because the whole ecosystem, everything's coming back, which is really cool, because now it's probably nicer than all the waters around it.
Right.
Because it's so
Did they show pictures of it?
No, he didn't. It was just
okay.
just like it was like an impromptu interview with him or something.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty cool that I caught it. I mean, I just happened to be there at the right time.
Yeah, it's kind of like what we know. Adam and me were talking about. I think it was last week about undersea mining and stuff along those lines. It's like, it's going to be horrible and tear up the thing, but it's how you address the destruction there and what do we do with it afterwards. And they were able to protect it, and hopefully. It's a positive sign, but it's interesting. Nonetheless, it's interesting.
I'd like to know more, because it's something for the mining, because they're talking about the nodules. Is that what they're calling them?
Yeah.
And I could almost swear that a person they interviewed was talking about making remote vehicles that would, instead of scooping and scraping, would literally just pick them up.
And
because the way he described it is they're just laying there on the floor. I wish I could, again,
interesting.
It was something that in passing I came across and didn't take a lot of note of, and now I can't find it.
Yeah. Since I prepared to talk about that, I've seen several articles and other videos coming out about undersea mining. So all of a sudden it's in the news, or maybe just because I talked about it, my Google history is popping up with all this stuff too. But I've seen quite a bit out there about it here recently. So yeah, it's an interesting piece of what's going to be coming out down the pipe really soon here too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting, because they were talking about with the podcast I talked to. That's what we were talking about, how they're just plowing over all the nodules and stuff like that, and talking about how long it was taking to grow back and everything, and come back, and what didn't come back and what did. So yeah.
I don't know if you saw it. I posted that video yesterday, because it was recorded last Tuesday, the same day you guys were talking about it on the show.
And Glenn says that he saw the same thing you saw, so he saw the interview too. So
okay, yeah.
What was it on?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Long enough ago that.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool, but I didn't think any more about it, and it was like, it's
got to be on the internet somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You said you had something else you wanted to talk about, or you want to wait till talk about later, or you want to talk about it now?
Oh, it don't matter.
Go for it.
I just happened across the. Well, you're a diver, so you know what the sheer water computers are.
Yeah.
The dive computers.
Yeah.
The nice big screen, the real readable. And I don't know why it occurred to me. I was just sitting here looking at a photo of one. I was like, that is a lot like what a control panel for a habitat would look like. Because along with like a thermostat, you're going to have your pressure, your air, your depth, everything that needs to be controlled right there.
Yeah. I always envisioned you'd have like an LCD panel on the wall that you had all your information right there, touchscreen type of thing, but very futuristic type of thing. Yeah, but you're right. Well, I noticed that in Jules too. There's a big old gauge on the wall that told you you're at 22 feet depth. I thought that was kind of cool. So yeah, I mean that's the only information they had in there. It didn't talk about pressure or anything like that. But yeah, it'd be neat to be able to have as much information as a detailed one or a minimalistic one, depending on who you are, but what you want.
Yeah, and what you get added. I mean, what modules do you attach?
Right. Yeah,
and it would be different. From all that.
I like that a lot too. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that makes me excited.
Yeah, because I was sitting there thinking, like, now I wish I could talk to Thane. I want to see what he sees, in the control up above Jules, because that's all that would be integrated right there.
There's not much. I was in there because when I got sick, he took me in there so I could just chill out for a while. So I was in there, and there's not much in there at all. He's got a TV up there where you can see in the moon pool, and there was a comm unit, and that was about it. There wasn't much in there. So I mean, there were some gauges and stuff, but most of it you could tell was relics in there as well. So yeah, I have some old stuff in there. Glenn did say that it was something about elements needed for making lithium batteries.
Yeah.
Which I know. Yeah. So.
Yeah, because I know cobalt. They had cobalt, and that's what they were talking about with the lithium batteries. When that person was saying that instead of scooping and scraping, they literally just plan on picking them up.
Okay. Yeah, I know there's been a lot of conversation here recently about substitutes and the ever-growing need for batteries, and since lithium seems to be here to stay for now until something else comes around. But then I watch a bunch of stuff on, since I like Tesla stuff, I watch a bunch of stuff about that, and they're talking about making batteries just out of dirt. It's like the sand can harness. There's some weird technologies out there that get away from any kind of metals and stuff along those lines too. So I don't know. There's some crazy stuff out there. That's a whole other topic, whole other show, really. But yeah, that's cool. No, now you got me. I need to focus. And then you talked about that. It makes me want to really start, because I got an IT background, so I think about the IT stuff that and how that would look out and everything too. But yeah, that's cool. You got anything else?
Oh, not right now.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't know what else you dug up in the last half hour since we talked there. But as I want to talk real quick about the seasteading thing for those who did know that I was invited to speak at their monthly Zoom call. Before real quick, Glenn's like, I drove a Tesla, fastest production vehicle ever made, and I have been in most of them. So you drive the new Plaid Model S, because that, oh man, whew, I would love to drive that thing. But that's cool, very cool, Glenn. The seasteading thing. So they asked me to come speak at this thing. They have it once a month, and they had a bunch of different people on there. They had the Ocean Builder guys on there a few months ago, or a month ago, and that's actually up on their YouTube channel. You can check it out. That was a really cool one. They actually give a tour of their plant. They talk about what they're doing down there in Panama, and some really cool stuff. Who we actually had Chad on one of our first podcast video formats. We had Chad on over a year ago, almost 2 years ago. But anyway, so they asked me to come on there. So I spoke for 25 minutes, and they had about 40 minutes of questions. It's really good. I think that I talked about some stuff that I probably haven't even dove in here on the podcast and stuff. So once it comes out on YouTube, I'll definitely link it. But maybe it's something I want to talk about again on here, because I really went into a lot. Did you get a chance to look at the link I put in the Patreon I put the slide deck in there. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I'll do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of information in there. I try to talk about the history of underwater habitats, why we don't have them or the amount that we have, and how we're trying to do it differently. Well, I was dreading the question and answer aspect because you never know what you're going to get thrown at you. And I've said enough of this seasteading ones before to know sometimes you get some brutal questions in there, but it was pretty cool. There's like 50 to 60 people in there, so it was a decent sized group, and they had good questions. Even some tough ones that I didn't know the answers to, or may have to get a little on defense on, but it was really good. But from that, we got several good leads. We got a couple of different seasteader guys that are talking about, hey, we're looking at a location. We'd like to maybe do some kind of thing with you. So that would be great because being an underwater habitat, we have to have some kind of side support, whether it's like Jules with a little house right there next to it, or Aquarius. If you're far out there, you have to have a barge or something above you. So working with the seasteaders may be a good option. Plus, as Carly talked about last week, they take care of all the a lot of the legal aspects and stuff like that too. But then I got an email on Monday, I think it was Sunday, from a guy, and him and me are in initial talks. But he could be very influential and powerful to helping us get this vision going. He's a marine engineer, former marine engineer, I think he is. So he's got a lot of input. He had some really good ideas. So we're talking. So that something could come of that here pretty soon. I'm really excited about that. So I'm excited for you to get to watch it too eventually too, babe. Because I'll be curious about your feedback on it too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So that's my little plug for that thing. But I will say the one thing I did talk about in there, are you familiar with Discord?
Yeah, I haven't done the thing.
So Adam really wants to get it. We have it on the ASC calling Discord. Nobody's in it. We don't do anything in there, but I've had it for years. Adam really wanted to get one of those up and go, but once again, it's a management thing of having people in there to man it and answer questions. It's just I don't have time for it, and neither does he. But the Seasteading Institute has one, and man, it's really powerful. There's lots of people in there talking about everything. I mean, they're talking about governance. They're talking about technologies. They're talking about construction, location, you name it. There's different groups in there. You can hop in there, and there's some super knowledgeable people in there. And there's a lot of people in there. So I definitely encourage anybody that's out there that's interested in the ocean type of thing to go join it. I'll throw the link in chat here, but it's also on the Seasteading website. It's at the very bottom. You go join that. It's all text. I think they do have a voice room in there, but it's all text. They even have a role-playing game in there you can play too if you're into that type of thing too. But no, I sit in there. I've got some private messages going on with some people in there too. There's some really cool people in there, and there's a lot of information. So I definitely encourage people to go join that. And let's talk about getting this thing going. But I will say that I wanted to segue real quick because you mentioned the Philippe Cousteau thing, and it was a media thing. So one of my questions is, and I've got my answer, where do you go to? Where is your main source, or where's your sources of information when you're wanting to get into the ocean type of thing and find out what's going on?
I'm going to give away my secrets here.
Yeah.
Deeperblue.com is usually where I go to get a good portion. That's probably the bulk of what I get is from Deeper Blue.
I don't use them nearly enough.
I had signed up for the app a long time ago, and like clockwork, 0200 and 1400 hours. I get a text for an update of something on the app. Yeah.
Huh. Very cool. Okay. Yeah. So that's deeperblue.com, I think.
Yeah. It is. Yep. And they got their own app if you just want to access it that way.
Let's throw that here in the chat too for people. That's a good one. A lot of my stuff comes from podcasts. I'm really getting big into podcasts, and there's several good podcasts out there. I don't have. I'm wanting to get a page on the website, so it's just like all media sources that you can go to for different types of media. So yeah, Deeper Blue is a good one. That's kind of what got me spurred on this question is where you're getting your information from, because who would be good references for people who want to obviously follow our social medias, because we put a bunch of stuff out there too. But there's so much information out there. There's just no way we can captivate all of it, and we source it from different places. So yeah, podcasts, Facebook. I get some really good stuff from LinkedIn too, honestly. Following like Ocean X is a big one I follow.
Yeah.
And some other organizations like that. But yeah, the so now I'm thinking more about Deeper Blue. What all do they have there? Oh, they got podcasts and everything, don't they?
I don't remember. They probably do, because I know they got categories right off the top. There's categories of stuff, news, ocean, whatever. They've got each little, and then scuba, free diving. I mean, they've got different parts to all of it, and I like the way they designed it, anyways, because it's all split up the way, not all everything lumped together, and you're trying to sort through stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I might have to listen to their podcast, because I've got, let me see which podcast I can listen to right now. I should have had this pulled up beforehand. But we got Catch Our Drift is one. It's like an ocean, and Sea State. Those are the two ones I listen to the most as far as, and Seasteading, the Seasteaders have one, Seasteading Today, but like Carly said, they're not really doing much with that anymore, just because it's so hard to get interviews. Then Tech Clark, obviously, he's got several, which is also, if you're interested in diving stories, the League of Extraordinary Divers. There's always Colonize the Ocean podcast too. But if you're on here, you're getting all that stuff. And Glenn says, Deeper Blue is great. Yes, we're another one. Ocean Blue is another, and even Facebook within, like Glenn's group. We'll plug there for Glenn, because he's got a little group there. He throws stuff out there too. Yeah. So yeah, with the internet and the plethora of information out there, you can find tons of good stuff.
And I try to get specific with YouTube, and it screens out a lot of stuff, but it makes it also difficult to find too.
What do you mean?
Well, like the deep sea mining.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want a deep sea mining interview from 8 years ago. I want to see something relevant now with the new technologies. What's going on? And I literally came right across that one I just posted there that was done the same day you guys.
Yeah.
Talked about the exact same thing.
Interesting. Yeah. So you mess with the filters there at the top and make it like within the last year or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the Atlanta Sea Colony account, and then I got my regular one. So it's like completely different. I switch over to one. It's got completely different suggested stuff versus my other one. Yeah. I can always know which one I'm on with them. I'm looking because of the garbage on my own personal one. But yeah. Let's say we plan on this being a shorter one tonight, and I want to give time to anybody that's got questions, or if you have anything else you wanted to dive into, no pun intended. Hey, since you got your classes coming up here, but then you got any dive trips scheduled anytime soon?
No, I was. I guess it was on the news, so it's public knowledge. The place I work came under cyber attack.
Oh, really?
And right now, there's no work being planned for my area. So I'm using up a bunch of my vacation days and just staying home and studying.
Yeah.
If they need help badly enough, I'll go to work for them.
Right.
They say it could be up to 2 weeks to get everything sorted out, because it's a medical system.
Yeah.
One of those ransomware things.
Yeah.
So it's
dealt with those many a time.
Yeah. Yeah. But I plan on podcast was something I'm going to get back to. I can tell you that. Yeah. Right now, mowing my yard is about the only time I'm going to use to listen to a podcast.
Yeah. That's my thing is I'll listen to a podcast. It ends up taking like 4 or 5 days to get through a half-hour podcast sometimes because I break it up. But all right. Well, in that
there
case,
I thought of, because I forgot about it, and the story of the people that have the ocean, or the ocean, what is it, the beach in Nevada? They have the tropical fish in it, the little ocean, the little salt water. It's a story. It's on ASC Facebook site and Twitter too. But it's a couple that bought this land and made a miniature saltwater lake, I guess. But the whole reason I thought of it and sitting there thinking, I was like, wow, it'd be cool, whether right off the bat or later, to be able to, if their place is big enough,
right?
Now you're dropping something in salt water. If they,
that's true. That's true.
Or, depending on the cost of what they spent for it, because at first they weren't going to do it because I guess the area that sold them the land, the city or town, county, whichever it was that was there, sold them the land. If you read the article, they weren't going to do it. And then they said, you know what, we are going to do it because this is something we've always wanted to do. And so it's a scuba retreat. I never even heard of it until this article. Yeah. They even had a couple of sharks in there until the sharks died of old age.
I look for that because I don't see them all, obviously, since Adam schedules them all out. But yeah, I'll have to go back and check that out.
You have to, because it's just that'd be really cool to be able to drop a habitat in somewhere like that, especially since it's already a tourist spot for scuba anyway. Its whole mission, I guess, because they list how people come from different countries just to go scuba there. It's
I'll have to find that out. Yeah,
landlocked.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe we should shoot them a message and see if we can get them on the podcast or the video. Yeah. Very cool. All right then. Well, I don't have anything else to talk about either. That's all we got. Hey, Glenn's got. Do we have a 2-year goal with different designations and projects to achieve a plan and a monetary demand schedule? Yes and no. Honestly, from the leads from the seasteading thing, I'm hoping to get that fine tuned a little bit more. Maybe that'll be something we'll talk about here pretty soon. The monetary thing is something we're really working on. That's, I think, the big one is trying to find out exactly how much. And I'm hoping working with this guy that contacted me, we'll be able to get a better idea on that. Because right now it's a really rough number. Been trying to contact plexiglass and acrylic people, but a lot of them don't really want to get back with me for some reason. So, we'll start the initial conversation. It kind of dies off. So I'm going to try to get more aggressive on that here in the next week and try to get some answers on some of this stuff. But no, not right now. I do not. But hopefully soon. Honestly, we were hoping to be able to start building something next year, one way or the other, to just start doing something and start getting some movement. So we'll see. There was some good stuff about regulations and stuff that came out of the conversation too. So I'm digging a little bit more into regulations because if they're not as bad as I've been led to believe, the building thing won't concern me as much. So we'll see. I'll have an answer once I'm able to dig a little bit more into some of this information I got from the speech on Saturday too. So we'll see. Good question. All righty then. You got anything to add to that, babe?
No, it's not that I can think, because regulations are always the catch. So and
that's what one guy said. He's like, I don't see why people keep on saying regulations is a big deal. He's like, regulations should not be hard because it's not that big of a deal. I was like, all right, man, whatever. So we'll see. So I guess I'll figure that out. All right, then. Let's close her off then.
All right.
My phone's blowing up with messages. You know where to find us. AtlantaSeaColony.com. All of our social medias are there. Thank you, Patreon members. Thank you, Babe. Thank you, Edward and Brian. And if you want to join that elite group of them, you can head over to patreon.com and become a patron and help support what we're doing. Or, just shoot us some money here at PayPal too. We got a lot of people that do that as well. And then, as Babe is showing off there, we got some cool merch. I'm not showing off any merch because my shirt's in the wash. But I need to buy some more. So I will always have one on for these things, I think is the key. Because my other one is the logo's on the back, so it doesn't do any good. But I always wear them at the gym. So I'm at the gym, people can see it while I'm on the treadmill and stuff. So that's what I do there. But yeah. Once again, thank you. Yeah.
For the show tonight, because
yeah.
Mug.
Your mug and everything. Man, you got it all decked out. Well, babe, thank you again for hopping in here last minute like that and helping us out with this. I do appreciate you coming in here.
Thank you. It was a good break for me.
Well, good. I'm glad. Hey, good luck on your test if we don't really have you on before then, but I'm sure we'll be talking.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. And let me get the outro here. See ya. Thank you.